Hi everyone, this is Vanessa Uybarreta from Mind Body Breath Massage Therapy and VANESSAUYbarreta.com, which is a work in progress, so I'll have more information about that coming up. But I wanted to make a video. I've never made a video, and I feel like sometimes videos are a nice little change from blog posts. I've made videos before, but not like this type of video where I'm just talking into the camera. So I get questions, similar questions when I work with people all the time. So I kind of took 3 or 4 basic questions and wanted to answer them here. And I'm going to welcome anyone to either send questions to me via email or on Facebook. Something that if I can help you in any way, with your anything from health and wellness to just your overall well-being. I'm so interested in how we all experience our lives on a moment-to-moment basis. That's really what gets me excited. I want to know. I want to know how you're feeling, and I want to help you feel the way that you want to feel. And obviously I do that through myofascial release and also through some other things that I'm working on. And so let's take a couple of these questions. The Ask Vanessa. I get questions a lot about, when I'm working with people one-on-one is, what's the best pillow? What's the best mattress? Things for my car, different things like just different apparatus for your body to make you feel better. And the answer is, like most of my answers are, every person is different. There is no perfect pillow for nighttime. There is no perfect, cushion for your seat in your car or for your couch at home. Every person is different. Some people like firm mattresses, some people like softer mattresses. But in general, and I have a video on my site, which I will link below in the blog post where this video is going to be, not in the email, but in the blog post. I have a video on comfortable positions for sleep for nighttime. So there is some basic guidelines, like if you're side lying, you want the pillow to be high enough to keep your head neutral as opposed to you getting jammed in your neck. And when you're on your back, usually you want to be a little flatter. So, you can kind of vary your pillow when you move at night. I have kind of a higher pillow, or I move my pillow up a little bit. I put something under it when I'm side lying, and when I lay my back, I kind of pull it out because I want to be flatter. So those are like basic things, but in general, there's no pillow I recommend. There's, no mattress I recommend. In general, most chairs I find that we purchase, whether we're talking about our car chair, God, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Your vehicle, when you're driving, or your chair at work, or your couches at home, most of them don't allow you to easily sit up straight and feel comfortable. So most of the time, it kind of promotes you to slump down, which is very, very annoying. So when you're in your car, if it doesn't have a little lumbar support bar or some sort of lever, mine has like this little lever. Some might have automatic, like an automatic car, controls that you can enhance lumbar support, stuff like that. You can take a small pillow. Usually a tiny pillow works, or even a rolled up towel, a folded towel, or rolled up, and you find what's comfortable. If you use it and it makes you feel better, and it does make you feel like you could be more upright without feeling rigid, that's great. If it makes you feel uncomfortable and it's too much pressure, that's no good. So you really have to find what works for you. If you drive a lot, it's a great thing to do is to find something that works so that you're not spending your whole trip slumped over or feeling really uncomfortable, because everything we do on a regular basis affects us. And I don't like to use the word positive and negative because I feel like that's very black and white. But it either goes in the direction that we want to be in or away from it in a lot of ways. So if you want to be more upright and you want to feel more aligned, who wouldn't, right? And you're slumping for several hours a day, that's really not helping you stay where you want to be or feel where you want to be. So if you can use things like pillows to help you stay more upright, that's great. You can't expect your body to just do it. It's, you have to let your whole body, your mind help you. I mean, you can't expect to just, boom, it's going to change. If you're used to slumping, that's a habit that you want to change for yourself. So your body will actively sit upright. Over time, you'll learn to just sit more upright if you're just on a stool or there's no backrest or you're on a bench, somewhere. But you also can have things that can help you, so that you don't have to feel like you're constantly, needing to sit strong. You can kind of have times when you want to relax, but you want to feel like it's helping you and not straining you. So the long-winded version of find what works is find what works for you for that. I'm kind of going longer than I expected here. I wanted to do quick videos, but that might not work. One other thing is, I find a lot of people think that things should happen quicker, even if they do. Sometimes people feel results really quickly in a couple of treatments, or they feel things changing right away. However, I think we all have this mindset like, oh my gosh, it should be quicker, even if you're not consciously aware of it. And you really have to think about how things evolve in your life. For instance, everything is gradual. When you're becoming more flexible, it's a gradual process, meaning you're over time stretching more, or if you're strengthening, you're going to the gym over time. It doesn't mean gradual has to be slow. It's just not a light switch. It's not black and white. It's a gradual process to get where you want to go. Gradual quick or gradual slow, but gradual nonetheless. So wherever you're at now is kind of like your whole life accumulated in your body. Doesn't mean you haven't released over time, meaning you had an injury 20 years ago and you worked on it and it's gone. It's changed, of course. But some people haven't. You might have accumulated injuries, or you might have stress in your body. Everything that you do, like I said before, either goes in the direction of where you want to be or kind of away from it. None of it's right or wrong. It's just life. We're constantly changing and evolving. So, for instance, if you were in a car accident, you were not a blank slate before you got into that car accident. You had previous things. You might have been really athletic, or maybe you were really flexible, or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe you had a hard time with flexibility, or you had some injuries from your past, or you had past surgeries. You weren't a blank slate. It's not cut and dry, unfortunately. Well, I think it's fortunate, but a lot of people want to kind of know, more specifically, but really we're so unique. Each person is completely unique from another person. There is no replica. So that means, there are patterns in the human body, because we're all functioning in the human body, where I see certain patterns in someone's stress patterns or, restrictions in the body and tightness. However, nobody is exactly the same. So if you could just kind of remind yourself that everything is possible and that it will get to where you want to go, maybe just not in the time frame you want. And with the work you do, if you're working with me, this is not just for if you're working with me, but if you're working with me, that's why the self-treatment is so, so important, because it gives you that little bit of treatment every day. And if you've been to see me, I teach you how to self-treat on your first visit, and I always ask, and we add things. And it could be something that could be very short. I'm not about giving you lots of homework. It's all about how does it fit into your life. So that means if you have 10 minutes in a day, if you have 5 minutes in a day, if you have longer, some days that's great. But you want to do a little bit every day. And that can go for, other things that can enhance your wellness too. Let's see. One last thing is, this is a fun question, and I think that if you want to answer this on Facebook or below the blog, we can do that. If there was one thing you could do daily to make you feel better and enhance your life, what would it be? So what would your one thing be? Your one thing, your one go-to thing. Do you have one go-to thing that you do every day? I do. My one go-to thing is, basically, it's kind of like a mental check-in, a mental, physical, emotional, energetic check-in of how I'm feeling and what do I need. I pretty much ask myself a few questions every day. It could be when I'm first waking up in the morning in bed. It could be while I'm driving. It could be while I am doing other things because I have a 1-year-old and I don't always have a lot of time to do all the self-care I'd like to. Some days I do, some days I don't. So I have 5 or 6 things. It's my little process that I do. I've created this process that works for me. And I ask myself a few questions, and it helps me to kind of see where I'm at, acknowledge where I'm at, and then see what I need to feel better if I'm feeling off. And that's basically it. It's kind of my little thing. It's nice that I don't like to give myself pressure to do anything specifically, and then I can't do it, and then it feels like I failed. So I know for myself where I am now is, yes, there are things I'd love to do. I try to stretch pretty much every day, even if it's just a few minutes, but there's some days where I just can't get to certain things because having a 1-year-old is very unpredictable. So I created these questions for myself that, give me a way to do what I would call my self-care, my check-in. And I do check in with myself several times a day, all the time. But this gives me a little kind of more specific layout. And if you're interested in what I do with these little questions, I can do another video on that. But other than that, those are the questions that I wanted to answer. There are lots of common questions I get from my clients. And if there's anything you want me to answer or to help or inspire you, I would love to create another video. And so if there's something you want, please don't hesitate to reply through the email or put on Facebook, and we can get another video. So just giving you a big hug and just saying, I hope your day is wonderful. And if it's not, I totally understand, and I'm giving you an even bigger hug. I'm VANESSA Uybarreta from Mind, Body, Breath Massage Therapy. My website is mindbodybreathmt.com, as well as vanessauybarreta.com.